Okay, so we're going to be solving a system of inequalities, a system of inequalities. And so it breaks down like this. So to solve a system of linear inequalities, graph each of the inequalities on the same coordinate plane. So just like we did with a system of linear equations, you graph both. Um, Using any graphing method, be as accurate as possible when drawing your lines. Remember, a boundary line can be either solid or dashed. We've talked about that. And remember how to shade the regions. We'll be doing above the line, below the line from now on, if that's okay. Are you guys okay if we do above or below the line? No testing of points? Okay. Uh, Find the solution by looking at the overlapping regions. Okay, so that's the new part. The solution's gonna be the overlapping regions, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, this is a little bit too small. Let's zoom out to like 200%. Ooh, maybe that's too much. 150. That's just right. Okay, so here we are. We are going to um, uh, graph this. All right. So let's start with our first inequality. Y is greater than negative x plus 4. Okay. So we haven't done this in a while on Cami, so let's begin. You want to maybe pick a thickness of 6 would be good, actually. So we'll keep it at 6. So go to drawing, thickness 6. You're going to pick a color. Uh, okay, I'll do purple. And this is going to be for the points we're going to graph. And you want to graph as many points as possible. So let's start graphing this inequality, starting with the y-intercept at 4. So right at 4, just press it once, you get a dot. And then the slope is negative 1, so go down 1, over 1. And again, we want to get as accurate a line as possible. And all right. So here's the thing. Is our line going to be solid or dotted? Dotted. So as long as you made all those points, let's say that that's a dotted line. Is that okay? That's our dotted line since it's literally dots. If you want to add a few more dots in between, you can. Just to fill it out and say, okay, this is my dotted line. It's not solid. Okay, so we want to shade it's greater than. Do we want to shade up here? We'll call this 1 or 2. Are we shading 1 or 2? Which one are we shading if it's greater than? 1. Again, you're always going left to right. Picture your ant going left to right. What's above? Because that tells us above. Well, everything here. So we're going to shade that. The way we're going to shade it is go to the markup tool and pick free highlighter. And I'm going to see if I can match that purple. Okay, that's kind of a lavender. That'll work. I'm just going to pick that. And now let's go ahead and on this side, let's shade all that in. Ooh, this is almost like coloring for fun. Okay, so there is our dotted line and shading greater than. Okay, that's enough. Okay, I see some of you working on that, so I'll give you a moment, and then we'll graph the second one. Okay, ready? It's not working?
Yeah, it doesn't let me open any candies. It like doesn't have any of my
Oh,
plugins. So mine has like 30 minutes on the screen.
okay. Weird. Okay, you guys ready to graph the second one? Okay, so I'm going to choose a different color. This is important. You got to choose a different color. I'm going to go to drawing, maybe do red. Put your point that has to be at 2, and we want to go up to over 5. And maybe I'll do one where I go down 2 and to the left 5. And this one is going to be dotted as well. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Just kind of try to stay in line. I think we had a ruler feature. Oh. Now I remember what we used to do. You use the line tool, but you use it in little strips. Trying to figure out how we did the dotted last when we were doing remote learning. And let me just try to make the dots. Just try to make the dots, I guess. So it resembles a dotted line. Okay. I think we did okay, or I did okay. Dotted line. So this one should also be dotted, and it says it's less than. So this is 1, this is 2. This is 1, this is 2. Are we going to shade 1 or 2? 2. It's less than. Again, you're going left to right. You're the little ant. You want everything below, so it's going to be everything down here. So let's go to markup. Pick a color, red, and let's start shading. And after this, we're going to just look for the overlap, but I just wanted to do this one with everything so you can see what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Give it a few more minutes. Okay. Okay. So here we are. I did a quickie job. Maybe you guys are doing better. But we're looking for the solution. Basically, where both inequalities are true. The part that's shaded with both. That's why when we talk about overlap, we're basically talking about this region right here. I'm going to use my freehand draw. So the solution is right here. This is the solution where both of them overlap. It's going to expand forever and ever and ever. But basically, if we pick coordinates within that location, it would be the only ones that would be true statements. Okay? So I'll give you a moment. So I'm just going to pick a point within that region. Say I pick the point say I pick the point 5, 1. I'm going to pick this point 5, 1. I'm going to use it to check. So on this part where they're asking us to check, pick a point that's part of that region that we say is a solution. And we're going to replace x and y, the 5 and the 1, into the equation and see if it works out. So we're going to first try the first inequality. And so let's see, we're going to replace y with 1 is greater than negative 5 plus 4. So that's going to be 1 is greater than negative 1. True. Okay. So let's try the other inequality. So the other inequality is 5, I'm 1, because we got y again, is less than 2/5 times 5 plus 2. So basically we have to multiply 2/5 times 5. Okay. So 2/5 times 5 is 2. I got y equals 2 plus less than 2 plus 2, which is actually true. So there you go. It was true for both of the inequalities. All right. So if you've graphed this correctly, any point within that double shaded region, which we're calling the solution, would be the only points that would be true for both inequalities. That's the whole purpose of the solution. It has to be true everywhere. And that's the only region where that happens. Okay? Any questions, guys? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and graph some more. You guys ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on. Let's do it. Okay. Next one. So I could see this one, we have to rewrite the inequality. And we'll just do it quickly on the fly if you don't mind. So for this one, we're going to move the 3x over to the other side. And I'm just going to freehand draw what the solution would be, or what we're going to graph. Y equals, or y is less than or equal to, I should say, 3x minus 1. So if I solve that one, we get y is less than or equal to 3x minus 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph that. I'm going to change so I can get big dots again. So this time I want my first point at -1. And then I'm going to go up 3 spots over 1. And let's make some more points that way. Okay, I just made several points. And this is going to be less than or equal to, so my line should be solid. Let's make a solid line there. We got the line tool, purple. I'm going to make a line through all of those points. Okay, there's my line. And then it's less than. We want to shade everything below. So again, I'm the little ant going up. I'm always going left to right. It's going to be this region here. Everything here gets shaded. Okay? Now, I'm going to do something. I'm just going to do the following. I'm not going to shade everything. I'm just going to remind myself that's the side I'm going to shade. So I'm going to just take this and then just put a little squiggle somewhere there to say, okay, this, for the purple line, that gets shaded. Okay? Let's do the second equation. So I want to rewrite this one. Let's divide out the 2 to put it in slope-intercept form. And that gives me y greater than or equal to 4x minus 3. Okay, so that's going to be the second one. Y is greater than or equal to 4x minus 3. Okay, so you guys ready? Let's graph this one. First point at -3. And then we want to go up 4 spots and over 1. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Okay. So this is my red line that I'm graphing right now. And this one is telling me, are you guys okay over there? Okay, this line has to be what? Solid? And here we go. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one. I already see what it's going to graph. Okay. So it's a solid line because it's got the equal to part. It's greater than, right? So I'm that little ant going up. And so I want to shade everything above this time. So that means everything on this side. Everything over here. Okay, so basically what I'm looking for, guys, Where is the overlap? What would shade both of those? Remember, the purple one down, the red one up. Where's the overlap? Yeah, just -1, -5, just that tiny little sliver. It's working its way up. I'm going to see how much we can zoom in. Let's mega zoom. Maybe even more than that. Let's try to get, because we're going to try to shade in this part here. We're going to shade in this. A tiny little sliver. I'll pick a green. I thought it would do that. The only part that gets shaded is that part. These are the solutions. Okay? So if we pick -1, -5, and test it out, let's see what we get. And I'm going to use this equation, the inequalities that I ended up with at the end. Okay? So I'm going to plug into the first one, y less than or equal to 3x minus 1. Okay? So it's going to be -5. Oh, I forgot how to do less than or equal to on this thing. I used to know the. Oh yeah, we have the. We have this, right? Ha ha ha! Thank you for reminding me. I used to know the keystrokes. If you know the keystrokes to yours, by all means use them. But you can go to our extension here. Go to math. One of these has to be a less than or equal to. I see it right here. There it is. I'm going to copy that. Less than or equal to 4 times -1 minus 3. Okay. So -5 less than or equal to -4 minus 3. And -5, -4 minus 3 is -7. So that is true. And if we try our other one, -1, go back to our tool. Oh, wrong tool. Uh-huh. Huh? Oh. Yeah, that's. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Yeah, it should be greater than. Where did we go wrong? Oh, right. Okay. Well, at any rate, we're kind of burning up time. Ooh. Let's just move forward, guys, because I want to get through a few more. Okay, we'll just do one more because I want to practice rewriting these inequalities. That's the main thing. So we got 3x plus 4y is greater than or equal to negative 12. So let's practice rewriting that one. Or is that the one? Yeah, that's the one I want. Okay. So our first move is bring 3x over. So let's move 3x over to the other side. Four y is greater than or equal to negative 3x minus 12. Okay. Divide out the 4. And let's get y greater than or equal to negative 3/4 x minus 3. Okay, so let's graph this one. So, okay, negative 3. And then we want to go down 3 over 4. Down 3 over 4. And now we'll also do up 3 over 4. Okay. So let's make a line with this. I'm just going to lay a line down and then go to select and fix it. So if you put a line that's not perfect like I did, go up to select the arrow, and then just grab one of the ends and then just adjust it. Okay. So what I did is I went to select, make sure it's the arrow, grab one of the ends of your line, and there you go. Okay. So it's greater than, so if I'm that little ant and I'm going left to right, I'm going like this, I'm going downhill this time. Greater than would be everything above, everything up here. So I'm going to just mark it really quick with a light purple. This is the side that gets shaded. Just to remind me, that's the side. Okay, ready to make my new line. Y less than negative 1/4 x plus 1. Okay, this time I'll use red. And I want 1. And then I'm going to go down 1 to the right 4. So this time it's going to do something like this. It won't be perfectly straight, but we'll get the idea what the line should do. Something like that. Kind of approaching. My crude attempt at dotted. I just thought we could have just drawn a line and then dotted across the line and then erase the line again. But more or less, that's what we want. Here's my dotted line. Okay, guys, if this is my line and it's less than, it's going to be everything down here, right? Everything below. So everything down here. So I want everything on the purple line going up, everything on the purple line going down. So the overlap would be this part right here. So that's the only part I'm going to shade. So this is the solution. All right. So for the notes, we're going to stop right there. Just get this far, example 6. And we're going to move on to the assignment. All right. Are you guys ready? Is anyone still working or looking at this? Yes. And once you're done with this, just turn in. And go to delta. Okay. You guys ready? I'm going to switch over to delta now. And so delta looks like this. It says systems of linear inequalities. We're just going to do 2 examples, okay? So you get the idea of how to do these. So it says solve the following systems of inequalities graphically on the set of axes below. Set the coordinates of the points in the solution set. Okay. Okay. So let's graph the first one. I'm going to put a point at 8. And then here's our line. Then it says, do we want to change the line? Actually, we don't. We're going to shade everything there. So I just did the first line. Now I'm going to do the second line at -4. Then it's asking me to do a slope of -3. So down 3 over 1. Do I want to change the line? Yes, I do. This time it's asking us to shade everything above, everything greater than. So it's here. So once we've done that, we have to pick a point in the solution. What point would be a solution point here, guys? Yes. -1 and 8. Yeah, let's go with that. There you go. Okay. Yes. Question? So basically, we can choose any solution that's in the correct region. Yes. Okay. So next one. Here we go. And let's see. We want everything here, since it's less than. And we want -4 down 1 over 2. Change that line because it has to be dotted. And it's greater than, so we want everything above. We want everything here. So basically anything, any point in this region, like 7, -1. I'm going to pick 7, -1. Try it out. There it is. Okay. All right. So that's the assignment.